Hi, in this video we're going to take the same essential rudiment exercise we've been doing of 2 measures of crescendo, 2 measures of diminuendo, 3 times per tempo, from 60 to 120 beats per minute, going up by 5 BPM at a time. And we're going to apply it to drags. Drags are the second category of grace note rhythms that we play as drummers. We looked at flams in an earlier video, one low stroke preceding the main stroke. And I guess low is kind of a relative term. You may have to play very soft flam or a loud flam. But the idea is the two are kind of chained together. The low stroke pulls the high one after it. That's one way to think of it. Well, with the drag, we're now changing the ornament, the single little note, to a double. And most of the time, you're going to probably want to play these with double bounces. It could be played with fingers, but I think why work extra hard if you don't have to? So if you haven't already learned double bounces, which is where you're essentially just setting the stick down and allowing it to bounce another time, you might want to take a look at some other videos that are looking at double bounces for that. I have a few on my channel that deal with this. But the goal is to get to where you can comfortably and effortlessly get a nice even double stroke. One quick note about these with the bounces is it does help a lot if you basically kind of pretend you have no wrist and pivot from your elbow instead of your wrist. And then if you need a little more volume, just bring out the elbow a little bit and pivot deeper. So when we get into double bounce rolls a little later on, that's one of the things we'll see that we're doing. So the drag is that on a smaller level. So that's working as a grace note or an ornament decorating the larger note. So it's similar to a flam in that the low stick precedes the higher one, and you want to have it, again, have a sense of the motion of the bottom one starting the motion of the top one. Keep your forearms same height, so don't drop it from here. Later on you can do that when you master these just for show, but for the most part you want to be able to control that. So you can affect the pressure of your double bounce by your grip here. Tighter, goes faster, looser, a little slower. And the drag is a little bit different from some of the other rudiments in that it can be interpreted a bunch of different ways. You can either have the doubles be really close into the main note just before it, or slightly further out a little bit before and spread out a little more. So sometimes you'll hear them very, very crisp, and sometimes you'll hear them a bit more open or spread out. And some of it's a musical context thing, some of it's just how you decide to interpret it. But very, very helpful to know about, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to play it through from 60 to 120, going up 5 BPM at a time. Again, stop at whatever tempo you don't feel comfortable at, and if you need to do some preceding work just to get the drags into your hands, then by all means do that first before you try to do this exercise. All right, here we go. 2 bars up front, and then 1 bar in between at each tempo, 3 times each tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, and we're in eighth notes again. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Try to pop the higher stick up all the way back each time. Helps with the timing. 2, 3, 4, and next tempo, 65. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I may play around a little bit with my bounce timing here. 2, a little crisper. 2, 3, 4, a little more open this time. 2, 3, 4, okay, 70. You just kind of keep playing around with your timing and just listen to see what you feel is the best articulation. 3, 4. You just don't want it to be too open, not like this. It's more of a gallop rhythm, so a little tighter. 3, 4. Third time. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 75. And then just try to make the main stroke land right on the tempo, right on the click. 2, 3, 4, because after all, it's the main event. 2, 2, 3, 4. So it just means that double stroke is always slightly anticipatory. 2, 3, 4, and next tempo, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. So you can see I'm kind of playing around with some different timings here. 4, 2, sorry, third time. 2, 3, 4, 2, 4. Okay, 85. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3. A little bit behind there. 4. And stop. Okay, 90. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2. Sorry, third time. Can't count. 2, 3, 4. 95. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another little interesting detail here is as you get faster, the bounces don't get faster. You just have to change the timing. 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 100. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 2nd time. 3rd time. 105. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I need to focus on keeping that nice and clean. 3, 2, 110. 1, Now this is a lot faster than we usually have to play drags. So with all of these so close together, you may notice it starts to turn into a little bit more of a gallop rhythm, just because there isn't enough space. You always want to have all three of those strokes be clear. 1/15. 1, 2, 3. So I am a little tighter here to get a faster bounce. I'll open it up a little bit on this one. $120. Third time. Okay. All right. So that last time I don't feel like that was very clean for me. So you may find as you go through there, especially those faster tempos, and if you try anything faster than 120, that's pretty tough to pull off well. So, you want to try to keep your grip fairly loose doing this for a while. You're going to be putting more pressure on the stick with this hand than you are with this hand. Obviously reversed if you're doing it this way. So you may find you get a little tired there. So you can kind of help that a little bit by staying a little lower and dropping the arm a little bit more, which I kind of forgot to do there. But again, by the time you get up toward 120, you're getting way faster than you're almost ever going to have to use drags. So there is a certain level of sort of tempo practicality for many of these different rudiments, especially when you get into the ornamented ones like the flams and drags, as well as some of the rolls. Yeah, you could work things up to faster and faster tempos, but when would you ever use it? And it becomes kind of more indistinct unless you have just extraordinary hands. But even so, it's just kind of one of those things you never have to do, like juggling 5 chainsaws or something. Amazing skill, but why? So anyway, I hope this is helpful. If you're having trouble with those drags, just slow things down. First, master that double bounce. And of course, later on, when you've got, have acquired some finger technique, you could use that little open-close snap sort of thing to play the drags as well. But I tend to feel that the double bounce is the easier way to do it. So, have fun. I hope this helps, and keep at it.